Hello everybody, it's Paul Neeson with the Raw Life Health Show, and today I want to talk about a topic that a lot of people don't pay enough attention to, and that is your body. We need to understand how the body works, but we also need to know that each of us is an individual and we have unique situations based on the food we've eaten and everything we've done in our life to determine our current health right now and our health in the future. So what I want to get to is a little experiment that I didn't necessarily do, but it actually fell into place. But I thought this would be a great thing to talk about because when I see what happened here, it just explains to everybody the answer of what happens when our body is not working the way it should. See, if you have a sink and the sink is clogged, problems are going to arise. You want the sink working as efficiently as possible, and to do so, the pipes must be clear so the water can go through correctly and completely. But when that pipe starts to get clogged and it starts to get narrowed out, the water's going to have a tough time getting through, and then eventually it'll get clogged and the water can't go through at all. And that, in essence, if we look at that as a from our body standpoint, that's a stroke or a heart attack. There's so much plaque and cholesterol and other waste in our arteries that the blood can no longer flow through. And if we eat the things that are going to keep our system clean and healthy, we're not going to run into that problem. But there's another problem out there, and that is constipation. And all this relates to the food we eat and the digestion after it. So when we look at constipation, we think about how often we're going to the bathroom and how efficiently our body's working. Then we look at live foods or raw foods. I know a lot of people that eat a raw food diet that seem not to have the great results that a lot of other people I know have. And a big problem with that is the condition of their body, or so to say, the quality of their pipes. When their pipes aren't working correctly, raw foods can be more of a problem than just eating dead food. Reason being, or cooked food, reason being, the food is so alive and has everything it needs in it. You see, when proteins do not get properly digested, they putrefy in the body and they create a breeding ground for disease. However, when sugar does not get processed properly, it ferments in the body, creating a breeding ground for disease. And that thus is the problem. So when your body is not working the way it should, and we get constipated, and our digestion isn't working correctly, if we eat too much live food, it's going to create fermentation. And normally in a healthy body, we won't have much of this. We won't have much gas. But even in the healthiest individual, there are times when a person might miscombine their foods and suffer from things like burping or farting or something like this. And everyone laughs, oh, that was funny or whatever. But this is, in fact, a more serious issue than we think, especially if it's happened a lot. So if you are burping or farting a lot, it is a great sign that you have fermentation going on in your body. Another sign is a gut. If your gut comes out more than your chest, another great sign you have fermentation or, in fact, inflammation in your body. Both of these things are not healthy things. Now, let me give you a clear example of this. I have here some tangerine juice. This is an empty bottle of tangerine juice, and so check it out. It's an empty bottle of tangerine juice. Open the top. It's still an empty bottle of tangerine juice. It's plastic and so on. Now, here's a bottle of tangerine juice that was left out in the sun. This bottle of tangerine juice was left out in the sun. Look what's happening with the fermented sugars. It's starting to expand and eventually will blow this bottle up if the top is not opened quickly. This is an example of the average person walking around today because of the putrefaction and fermentation of food in their bodies. So even somebody on a raw food diet that's eating a lot of fruit, this can create a tremendous problem if your digestion is not working properly. Every food has a ballpark range of a digestive time. Now, you're not holding this here, but I can't squeeze this. I can't squeeze this. This one, I can squeeze. So, healthy raw foodists, Healthy vegan, unhealthy vegan. Okay, again, healthy vegan, I could squeeze this. Unhealthy vegan, it's puffy, it's inflamed, it's filled with gas, and I let the top out here, nothing's happening. This is a sign of a constipated person right here, and this is your sign of your average person. I mean, this is a big difference. Let me see if you guys can see the difference here between these two things. Look at the handle. Just look at the handle part, okay? Look at how fermenting, how much fermenting is going on in this orange juice. It's really, I can't squeeze it. That's the problem we have today with our bodies. When we eat miscombined foods too much, too often, and too late, it runs into that problem. Because the raw foods are alive and the enzymes are alive, the problem could actually be worse than if it was dead food. There are much other issues with dead foods and cooked foods, but when the food doesn't have the life force in it, you're not always going to run into this problem unless it's processed sugar. But when you're having live foods, there's a reason why they call it live foods, because it's live. Now I'm going to open this up and see what happens, okay? Because if I leave this like this, eventually it will explode. This is a sign of the average unhealthy person's organs today. They're inflamed and filled with gas. And what really happens, if we really want to get technical about it, is our cells in our body is either healthy or unhealthy. And the final stages of disease is cellular degeneration. And then you end up with things like cancer and other inflammation and other diseases because the cell is not healthy. And if a cell is abnormal, then you literally have cancer. But a cell that's healthy will not be like this. A cell that's healthy will release the gas in a proper amount, or won't even have gas because the fermentation is not going on. But when a cell is unhealthy, it would have gas, and that's when the cells get puffy, and that's when we end up like this. So let me open this up and just give you guys an example of this. Here we go. So we just heard that. It let out a tremendous gas sound, and that, in fact, was like a fart or a burp. It doesn't smell like a fart or burp. It smells like orange juice. So now we see we can squeeze this now. So when you're bloated, you're like this was with the cap on it. That's how you are when you're bloated. When you're constipated and bloated and your stomach's out. Then when you have pass some gas or you go to the bathroom, now you're like this. But still, here's the problem, folks. This is a healthy bottle. This is a healthy bottle. This, everything has been expanded, and then the gas has been released, but the bottle is still somewhat inflamed. So even though everything has been released, you've already inflamed the body. So, and that would represent inflamed organs in the body. That, thus, is the difference. So let me put that on top of here again. So now the gas is out, but I won't be able to do this if it ferments again. If I come back tomorrow, I won't be able to squeeze this. And look again, look at the bottom. Look at the different size of these. This is so much bigger than this. And that's something that a lot of people, especially raw foodists, are in danger of. They're eating too much miscombined meals too often. And that's why we want to make sure that our meals aren't too overburdened for the body. The average size of a stomach is the size of one's fist, and we want to make sure we're eating accordingly. Now, cooked food takes to a whole nother level because you've taken the liquid, the life-giving liquid, out of the food. So now you're putting all of this waste in, and you're just able to fit more of it in there. But eventually, it's going to dehydrate the body, but will be liquefied again. And then you run into these issues as well. But you have so much more food in your body now. That's why you can eat so much more cooked food than you can eat raw food or live food. When you eat live food, there's two reasons why you're not going to overeat. Number one is it has many more nutrients in it. Well, three reasons. Number two, it has the liquid in it. And number three is it's that much more satisfying. So cooked food is concentrated or dehydrated, so you're going to be able to fit more. It doesn't have the nutrients the body needs. No matter how much you eat, it's always going to crave more. And then finally, it's just You could say it's satisfying, but it's not satisfying. It tastes too good almost, where your body's not able to, the mechanism in your mind is not able to stop it. Basically, cooked food is a foreign object to the body, no matter how you look at it. And the body will eventually run into problems if we continue to cook our food. So we want to eat the majority of our diet raw, ripe, fresh, and organic, not to overeat, not to eat late at night, and the less we eat, but the higher quality food, the better off we're going to be. Alright, so that's just an experiment I wanted to show everybody, and hopefully it'll get you thinking, even if you're a raw foodist, about the amount of sugar you eat on a regular basis. Make sure your digestion is working well. And here's another tip. When you're exercising, you release gas. So even if you're not farting or burping, through your skin, when you're exercising, when your body's pumping blood really fast, so when you're breathing heavy, when you're sweating, you're releasing a lot of this fermentation. And that's going to help you have a nice, hard, solid, stiff body. And flat stomach, nice, solid, stiff body, exercise, whether it's cardiovascular or muscle building, will help that. So hopefully these tips will help you. Please pass them on to anyone you know who's contemplating eating a raw food diet. It is, or at least can be, the greatest way to eat if you do it the right way. So hopefully this helped you. There's many other videos on my website to help people with the vegan diet. And you can subscribe at the top of this page. Just click on the link at the top of this page. You can also sign up for my Instagram or my Facebook and get many daily updates. Until then, everybody, have a great day and a great raw life.